More than 100 people experiencing homelessness and living at Pig's Eye Park will be forced to find a new place to live. The city says it's clearing out the biggest homeless encampments because of health and safety concerns. Ramsey County accepted $1 million from the city this week to add more shelter beds ahead of those encampments shutting down. Some shelters tell us they've already been on the ground connecting people with resources, but some people tell us forcing people to leave the encampment is not the right solution. Community members with a coalition called Stop the Sweeps say they want the city to end its policy of making encampments illegal and to create a team that looks at long-term solutions to homelessness. Now, this all comes at the same time St. Paul Mayor Kali is facing high-profile allegations against her. In a formal complaint with the city, St. Paul's police chief, Axel Henry, accuses the mayor of sexual harassment. The allegations center around text messages and remarks shared between Mayor Herr and city employees, as well as alleged unwanted physical contact from her toward the chief. An outside law firm is now investigating the claims, and Herr says she intends to remain mayor, adding that she respects the investigative process and is confident, quote, the full facts will come to light. Minnesota implemented a new round of laws this weekend, with dozens going into effect yesterday on the 1st of the month. And that includes a law to crack down on Medicaid fraud. Our Danny Spiewak has a closer look.
This weekend, a number of new state laws went into effect in Minnesota from laws that were passed in the 2026 legislative session, and many of them have to do with fraud and anti-fraud measures. One of them is the Medicaid Fraud Control Unit bolstering that was done by both Democrats and Republicans in a bipartisan effort. They were able to secure more than $1 million in state funding that matches at the federal level with a 3-to-1 match that helps the Medicaid Fraud Control Unit inside the Attorney General's office in Minnesota get 18 new staff members. That includes 11 new investigators. This was considered one of the top pieces of anti-fraud legislation during the 2026 session. And as I mentioned, it was brokered by both Democrats and Republicans. Despite some hiccups in the beginning of the session, the two parties came together on a compromise and were able to secure this funding for the Attorney General.
So I like to say you buy one fraud fighter here at the state level, you get 3 free from the federal government. So we were able to find an agreement that provides that ongoing fund.
The other big piece of fraud legislation this year was the Office of Inspector General. That office is obviously being established, and there will be an Inspector General appointed by the next governor in 2027. I'm Danny Spiewak, KARE 11 News.
And this weekend, many other laws also took effect, including strengthening policies around domestic violence, making it a felony to groom a minor, and enhancing Capitol security. And this morning, President Trump is signaling optimism for a deal to end the war with Iran. In a new social media post made in the last 12 hours, President Trump says he has canceled U.S. planned attacks on Iran because the perimeters for a deal are being agreed upon. He says 2 of the key points are reopening the Strait of Hormuz and ending what he calls Iran's nuclear threat. President Trump says Israel is also committed to the new breakthroughs within the negotiations.